The Adeptus Mechanicus rules over a swathe of planets scattered across the Imperium. Known as Forge Worlds, these are places of endless industry and rampant pollution, where the priests of the Omnissiah jealously hoard their secrets and lore. They are also military strongholds, whose strength is often augmented by alliances with knightly households. Most knightly houses, though by no means all, are associated with a Forge World, and in return for fighting alongside that Forge World's Skitarii and Titan legions, they gain access to advanced technology and knowledge that only the Adeptus Mechanicus possess. The association between the knightly houses and the Adeptus Mechanicus dates back to the time of the Great Crusade. When the Night Worlds were first rediscovered, the different organisations that made up the Great Crusade competed ferociously with each other to gain control of the valuable resource that the Knights represented. This Machiavellian political contest went on for decades, until the Mechanicum of Mars was finally able to establish their dominance in the fight to exploit the Night Worlds. The Mechanicum were driven in this by a desire to gain control of the archaeotech that could be found in abundance on the ancient Night Worlds, but were also aware that the vast natural resources and military might of the knightly houses could make them a valuable asset. To this end, once they had established their right to exploit the Night Worlds, they set about making them dependent upon the Mechanicum for their continued survival. At the time of the Great Crusade, the Tech Priests' fleets found an anarchic galaxy where the ancient confederacy of independent human planets no longer existed. The surviving Night Worlds that were discovered had not retained all of their old technology, and had been forced to improvise comparatively crude repairs with the materials and techniques available. The Tech Priests settled among these feudal empires, founding many Forge Worlds and establishing contacts within the knightly houses. They traded with the Night Worlds and investigated ancient ruins upon their surface, where relics of the Age of Technology could still sometimes be found. The Knights themselves proved invaluable in combating enemies such as marauding orcs. In return, the Tech Priests promised technical expertise and helped the nobles to rebuild their planets. The most important thing that the Tech Priests brought to the Night World was the capability to maintain the nobles' night suits. Over the course of the Age of Strife, much of the knowledge and many of the skills needed to keep the complex knight armour working had been lost. Local technicians and artificers did their best to maintain the suits, but in many cases they simply did not have the necessary ability. When the Night Worlds were rediscovered, most had only a handful of operational suits remaining, and even these were in a poor state. The Mechanicum promised to remedy this situation by inducting the local technicians that had been caring for the armour into the Cult Mechanicus, and teaching them how to keep the night suits in good repair. Because of this, nearly all suits of knight armour bear the mark of the Cult Mechanicus as a reminder of the debt that they owe to Mars. Over the millennia, the Forge Worlds have grown powerful, with the Night Worlds flourishing along them. Vast mechanical vessels regularly deliver new night suits, weapons, tools and mining machinery to the noble houses, and leave with their holds packed with ores and food. In many places, especially beyond the Great Rift, in the Imperium Nihilus, the Tech Priests and the Knights have become almost entirely dependent on each other. Many Forge worlds form the hub of micro-empires, holding out against invading tides of Xenos and heretics with the help of the noble households. In exchange, the Knights have gained much from the Tech Priests, their worlds gradually returning to being technically sophisticated cultures. However, the relationship between Forge World and Night World is not always an easy one. Even those knightly cultures that wholly adapted the worship of the Omnissiah, and whose nobles swear fealty to the Fabricator General of Mars, are strong-willed warriors. Their codes of honour do not allow them to follow the commands of the Mechanicus without question, a fact that has frustrated many a cynical and duplicitous Martian priest. Meanwhile, those worlds pledged to the rule of Terra and the worship of the Emperor can be more difficult still. Their nobles are often mistrustful of the secretive Adeptus Mechanicus, and beyond trading with them where they must, they typically keep the Tech Priests at arm's length. The only exception to this is in the training of these world's sacristans.